friends, it's Carolyn Zook here with C6 Stitch, and today I'm going to talk about my plans for 2023 along with showing you a bunch of my projects. Some of them you have seen recently, some of them maybe you haven't seen in a while. This is not a whip parade. I still plan to do a whip parade near the end of the year, but you're going to see a lot of projects today anyway. So I hope you find this video helpful and interesting. I love a good planning video. And I know we've talked a little bit here and there about plans, and I think I have my plans figured out for 2023, and I'm really excited to share those with you. So first up, kind of the low-hanging fruit, the easiest, easy, because I don't have to show you any projects. That's all I mean by easy, but these were some hard decisions. So I have my little post-it here. The clubs that I'm going to stay in and the clubs that I am leaving and the clubs that I'm joining for 2023. I am going to stay in the Cottage Garden Threads by Garan Stitchery. So you get, I think it's 5, maybe 6 threads each month from Garden Cottage Thread. So I'm going to continue that into 2023. Of course, I'm going to continue the Woodland Christmas by Tiny Modernist. I showed this in my floss tube this week. It is by Crazy Annie. So they send you a chart once a month. That will continue through, I think, October or November of next year. So I'll continue that. I'm going to continue getting the Fat Quarter Shop cake stacks. They're 10 by 10 pieces of fabric, just to kind of build up my fabric stash and get some good finishing fabrics there. This was inspired by Jan Hicks of Jan Hicks Creates, of course. So I don't plan on doing it necessarily for the whole year, but I've only done, I think, 1 month so far. So I'd like to continue that for a little bit anyway until my stash gets built up, and then I'll stop that one. And then new for 2023 is I'm going to join the Fortnite Fabrics Fabric of the Month Club. So that will be my Fabric of the Month Club. I'm going to, obviously, so the Crazy Annie's Stocking Club, the 12 Days of Christmas, the mini stockings, I'm waiting on my December one, and then that club will have ended because we've gotten all 12 charts for that. So that will no longer, so the Woodland Christmas will actually replace the Stocking Club. I am not going to do the Rogue Stitching Fabric of the Month, so the Fortnite Fabrics is going to replace that. I love the Rogue Stitching Fabric of the Month Club. I've done it for 2 years, and I'm just ready for something new. That's the only reason why I'm leaving. They're fantastic. Always ship right on time. So if you are looking for a new fabric club, you can check out them. But I believe Garan Stitchery also has an Atomic Ranch, which is a lot of what the Rogue Stitching also puts out. They have an Atomic Ranch Fabric of the Month Club. So check out Garan as well as Rogue Stitching. And I think I'm going to let go of the NPI silks from Fat Quarter Shop. I'm going to get my December pack only because this was a hard one for me, just because I have done it for, I think, a year. And while I want all the NPIs, I just, that's a good chunk of money that I can save with inflation and gas prices and all that. So that's my way of being good. So I think I went through everything on my list here. So Cottage Garden Threads by Garan, Tiny Modernist Woodland Christmas, Fat Quarter Shop Cake Stack, and Fortnite Fabric of the Month. So those are my clubs for 2023. I just have to remember to cancel the ones that I need to cancel, because I don't want to cancel ahead of time, because I still want to make sure I get the December, the December shipment, if you will. Okay, I have notes, so forgive me if I'm looking down. I just want to make sure that I am sharing everything with you, and it's a lot to remember because we're talking about a whole year here. So, things I am not doing in 2023, I have decided, again, this was very hard for me to decide, I am not going to do Whip Go. I love it. I've done it, the past 3 years really, but I've gotten off track around July. The first 2 years I did it and then just never caught back up. This year I am on track to get a blackout on my Whip Go board, which I'm so excited. It is run by Jessie Marie Does Stuff. It is fantastic. If you are looking for a really kind of loose challenge, you set your own goals. you make your own rules for your own board. If you want to change it mid-year, you can change it. Each month, Jessie Marie calls 2 numbers, and that's the project you work on. I had really toyed around with doing 2 WhipGo boards or doing none, because someone once described me, a friend of mine once told me, you're an extremophile. It's all or it's nothing. That's a really good explanation, a description of me. So I think I'm gonna up, because my what I'm trying to do in 2023 is I'm trying to free up some time to, when things come up, when a project comes up, if I'm really feeling a project, I want to be able to work on it. And yes, arguably I could set a lower goal, a less time goal. This year my time has been 12 hours each piece. I have a really hard time. I had a really hard time doing it because the year before I had 15 hours each piece per month. And I had a really hard time dropping it down to 12. Just because that overall number of hours it's a lot, and I get a lot of progress done on WhipGo. But so I'm just going to take a year off. I plan to come back to it in 2024, maybe with 2 boards. It just kind of depends on how 2023 plays out. But I also really want to focus on getting some finishes done, which we'll talk about in a minute here. So I'm not going to do WhipGo for 2023. I am also not going to make goals for every single whip I have. I felt somewhat constrained by that this year. I love most of my pieces. Those of you who have been watching me for a long time know I have really no qualms about, UFOing, if you will, pieces that I enjoy stitching on, that I no longer really love. Our tastes, our styles change over time. So I have no problem with that. But it just felt a little confining to set goals for every single piece. In some ways, it's really motivating. But again, like I said, I really want to focus on certain projects to get them done. I have floss tube nose, so pardon me. So the things that I am going to do for 2023. Okay, so obviously I'm going to continue co-running Magazine Monthly Challenge with my dear friend Robin at Bird's Eye Stitches. We're going to continue on. We're going to do Bringo and AB Singo. We'll be doing the monthly themes and acrostics. We will be doing the pop-up challenges, and we have some new pop-up challenges coming this year. So obviously I'm still very involved in that project group, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to continue doing 25/7, which is the brainchild of Melanie Watkins from Soulful Stitching. She has a Facebook group called Cross Stitch 25/7. The goal is you stitch on a project for either 25 stitches or 25 minutes a day. I think her intent, and Melanie, if you're watching, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the intent was, hey, sometimes you can't get any stitching in, but maybe you can do, 25 stitches or 25 minutes. I know several people have interpreted it instead as, hey, I have a 25/7 project that is an addition to my regular stitching. That's how I have kind of worked it into my schedule. So I have a piece that's maybe smaller that can be finished with some just regular progress, and that's typically what I use for the 25/7. So I will continue doing that. I do it most days. It seems like maybe 2 or 3 days a month I'm not able to do it for various reasons. But it's a really great group. It's really helped me get some things done. It's expanded my stitching time, which is great. So that is 25/7. I'll leave a link down below. I'll leave a link for everything I'm talking about in terms of the groups. Also by Melanie Watkins is Year of Whips, which I will also be participating in. And she will be coming out with a video. This is Soulful Stitching again. She will come out with a video in December about explaining everything for Year of Whips. But I'll be talking about what I'm going to do. But basically, it's about focusing on finishing pieces. So her kind of regulations for this is you need at least 6 projects that you say you're going to finish, and in order to be eligible for the drawing at the end of 2023, you need to finish at least half of the whips. Okay, so but the minimum is 6, so you would finish 3. I'm doing more than that, so I will talk about that in a minute. I will also link that. I think that's in the Soulful Stitching group, but I will link that down below as well if that's something that you are interested in doing. I'm going to do a Sunday piece. I have done that. It started when I was doing the temperature tree by Stitching Mommy, because I would work on that week's temperatures on Sundays because the week was over. And so then I got into this habit of working on a particular piece on Sundays. And I really like that. This year I have used the Garon Focus on a Designer piece as my Sunday piece. For 2023, I'm going to do something a little different for my Sunday piece. So I will be working on a Sunday piece, and I work on the same piece every Sunday of the month. So it ends up getting 4, sometimes 5 days a month, which is really nice. And you can see a lot of progress in that day or in that amount of time. And the Sundays, some people may have a little more stitching time on Sundays as well, which is another reason why I like that. Speaking of Garon, I will also be participating in the Garon Focus on a Designer. I'm not sure what day of the week or anything like that yet that I'm going to focus on that. It can be anytime. Wow, look at me being wild and free this in 2023. Wild and free 2023. Oh my gosh. There we go. So I will be participating in the Focus on a Designer most months. There's always some months that maybe I'm like, I don't have time or I don't have anything by that. And I know that's the point, but I'm like, oh, do I really need another new start? I've started a lot of things this year. So, but I do plan on participating in that. And then in addition to that, I plan to have a monthly focus piece. And I guess you could say this is kind of what's replacing the WIPGO. But each month I've selected a piece, and it's mostly based on kind of thematic, like you'll see when I show you the pieces that I'm planning to do, or pieces that I started in that month that reminds me of that month. So I am going to have a monthly focus piece. Sometimes that might be my 25/7 piece. Sometimes it might be the Garon Focus on a Designer piece. It just depends. There might be overlap with all of these categories. Okay, so that's the big overview of what I'm doing. And now I want to dive into some details here. So Magazine Monthly Challenge, I already explained that on December 1st. So depending on when you watch this, December 1st, we will be releasing the prompts for Bringo 2023. So that will come out on December 1st. So you have the whole month to plan for your prompts. We will also be releasing a spoiler of all of we decided for 2023 we're going to have a yearly theme, and then we're going to have our monthly themes for each month will all fit that yearly theme. So we'll reveal the yearly theme, and we will reveal the monthly themes if you want it. It will be on a document under the files. The document will say spoiler alert. So if you just want to be surprised every month, you don't have to look at that document. Some people like to plan ahead, which I get. I'm a planner too. I get that. Garon already came out with all of their designers for Focus on a Designer for 2023. So if you go to their Facebook group, you will be able to find all the designers for Focus on a Designer. So we'll release the themes if you want it. We'll release the yearly theme. And then on the 15th of each month, or around then, sometimes I forget or get busy, but around the 15th of each month, we release the theme and the acrostic for the following month. So you'll have a good 2 weeks to plan out your following month. So December 1, spoiler alerts for themes, yearly themes, and Bringo prompts. December 15th, we still have a monthly acrostic and theme for January, even though we're doing Bringo, because not everybody participates in Bringo. So that, and I'll talk more about Bringo in a different video, just in case not everybody watches this video. So Magazine Monthly Challenge will continue on. Again, 25/7 will continue on. I already talked about that as well. That may or may not be my focus piece for the month. Okay, Year of WIPs. So as of right now, I have 10 WIPs on my Year of WIPs list that I want to complete in 2023. To be eligible, For the drawing, I only have to complete 5 of them. I'm hoping to complete all 10, of course. And just a FYI, this does not start on January 1. It actually runs January 18 to December 18. I believe I have those dates right. But again, follow Melanie at Soulful Stitching on YouTube, and she will be releasing a video with all of the information that you need. But it's not quite January 1 to December 31. It is her birthday is January 18th, I believe. So it's January 18th to December 18th. Okay, so let's take a look at my 10 projects that I'm hoping to finish in 2023. I have baskets piled up here. First up is Summer Quakers by Rosewood Manor. You just saw this if you watched my my floss tube video from this week. This is what it will look like when it's done. You can see I already put, well, this is the picture, but I already put the date in here. So this will be done, and this is the one that I'm leaving off the alphabet on. None of the other seasonal ones have that alphabet on there, so I'm just leaving it off. So it should go a little bit faster. This is stitched on the called for 28 count Picture This Plus truffle with the called for Valdani threads. Here is where we're at. I am kind of between pages 4 and 5. 4 is mostly done. I have a few more things to do, and then I'll be going into 5. There are 9 pages total, but pages 3, 6, and 9 are not full pages. So they're just a small section, and I'll be leaving off the alphabet. So this one I think no problem will get done in 2023. So that will be great. This year I finished Autumn Quakers. Last year I finished Spring Quakers. So we are cruising to a finish on these. All right, how am I going to do this? I'm trying not to make a big mess out of, but we'll see how long that lasts. Next up on my to finish Year of Whips is in this bag. This is by Shelly from Oh My Ada. Made this bag for me a while ago. I love it. This project is Winter Quakers by Rosewood Manor. This is what it will look like. I'm not as far along on this one, so this one will take a little more time to complete. And again, I'm using the called for 28 count Picture This Plus dwarf. And on both of these, I'm using the called for Valdanis, if I didn't already say that. This is where I'm at. Again, I think I am on page 4. But there's some really big motifs in here. So, and there's a lot of those little snowflakes that you can see. So this is where I'm at. So we have a little bit ways to go. But I think it's doable as well if I focus and concentrate on it. I'm very much a seasonal stitcher. So I really like I could see me pulling this out in, October, November of next year and just cruising for a finish on it. And that's one of the things what I like about this system. That I'm going to give it a try. This system that I'm doing this year. All right. Next up on my Year of Whips is Early Bird Bouquets. So this is what all 3 will look like. I finished this one, I think, earlier this year, and I have not started the other 2. I'd like to start and complete the other 2. These can be found in the Cross Stitcher magazine. This is April 2019, and this is what the cover looks like. It's called Cross Stitcher. And I plan to finish them in those really pretty hoops. You just get regular hoops and you paint them. I'll show you my finish on the one. And I'm counting this as one finish, even though there's 3 separate charts. So here is this one, done, ready to go. I was just looking at some of the long stitches there. And so the other 2 I have not even started yet. So that will be coming up. Next up, we are going to finish, hopefully. This one is the one that's a little bit like, a little nervous about it. This is Stained Glass Window. This is from Just Cross Stitch, the April 2021 issue. The cover looks like this. And this is designed by Tangled Threads and Things, and this is what it will look like when it's done. This is a gift for a friend, so I would like very much to finish it this year. And also because when I finish this, I have another piece I want to make for, well, 2 pieces I want to make for some people in her family to go along with it. And so it's like when this is done, I still have other pieces to make. So I really want to get this done this year. So this is where we're at. I did make some good progress on it recently. You saw this recently. So it just needs focus time, and I think it's doable. It's full coverage inside. It's not big, but it is full coverage, and there's a lot of back stitching. This is on 28 count French lilac or linen, I think, whatever the called for is. There's a lot of color changes in here, right? To get the stained glass effect, it's a lot of counting and a lot of color changes. So it is not a mindless piece, right? It does take a lot of focus. So I would like to get that one done. Then, the other one that I would like to get done is from StitchCon. This is the StitchCon 2022 chart designed by Sue Hillis. I started this shortly after I got back from StitchCon. I know many people are already done with this, but I would like to finish it. I'm using Candy from the 614 Stitcher, her method, which is I want to finish it before next year's StitchCon, which I think is a really great motivation, right? So here's where I'm at. I think it's very doable. I just need to focus on it. There's 310 keepsakes, kitty cat, but also looks like my Jack. So this is where I'm at. It's doable, just need to do it, right? These things don't get done if you just set them on your shelf, as I'm learning. And I'm looking for, the fabric I'm stitching this on is just a 32 count lamb's wool linen. Speaking of Jack, he just hopped up here. You can see his tail right there. He just hopped up here on the chair. Okay. Next up. My next finish for 2023 is going to be Tutor Bee. This one, this is by The Blue Flower. This is what it will look like. I started this thinking that I could do this for a smalls exchange for StitchCon. I just ran out of time. I started it way too late. And honestly, I kind of love it. I want to keep it for myself, but I don't want to stitch it twice. So, you know, sorry to everyone who wanted to get it. I'll do something else. I'm looking for the fabric. I don't see the fabric. What this fabric is. Oh, this is probably 28 or 32 count. What's it called? Country Vintage Mocha. So this is where I'm at on Tutor Bee. It's beautiful. I don't love a lot of bee patterns, actually. Some of them are kind of scary and they look very, I mean, I know bees are insects, but they look like insects. This one though, I think the flowers just soften it a bit and I think it's gorgeous. So that's where I'm at on this one. So that one should get done as well. Okay. You know how the bags all fit in the basket when you start? It's like with your suitcase. It all fit in the suitcase when you're traveling there, but not so much when you're coming home. Okay. No, I'm missing some. Got shoved down here. Okay, 4 more to go. I'll just put them over here. 4 more to go for our the chaos. And I can't even blame the cats for it. That's the worst thing. It's just me. All right, next up is Hearthside Christmas. This is by Erica Michaels. Wow. Slippery Little Suckers. If you know what movie that's from, let me know. Her Side Christmas by Erica Michaels. It says, friends for your fireside, a wreath for your door. More pleasure at Christmas than ever before. Contentment and laughter, good times and good cheer, and peace to go with you all through the new year. I love the finished product. I do not like stitching this. I don't know why. It started out because I had a really hard time with there's satin stitches, and I just could not get mine to look very good. So I changed them to crosses, which helped. But I don't know. I don't know. Here, let me show you. You saw this year. I did pull it out and force myself to work on it, and I did get pretty far. This is why I think I can finish it next year, and then I can just be done. So this is about, well, this might be a quarter, maybe a little more, quarter of the way done. This is stitched on Color and Cotton Pearwood. I just had it in my stash from when I was in the Color and Cotton Fabric of the Month Club. So this whole border is repeated over here. So I have to do all that again. This border, which goes all the way around. And you can see, like, snowflakes are a pain. Like, I love stitching winter and Christmas. Snowflakes are a pain to stitch, and I don't really love that. I mean, the words go fast, right? And I love the saying. Like, I love the sentiment. So I'm going to keep going, but I just want this done next year. And I don't have to dread it anymore, right? Just get her done. It's a beautiful piece. I don't know. I just don't like stitching on it at all. Okay. So we'll get her done. Next up to finish is called Lovebirds, and it is from Just Cross Stitch magazine. Let me cover up it's an old address, very old address. But I'll cover up just in case. This is from February 2021. That's what the cover looks like. Normally they don't put the addresses right on the magazine. So this is called Lovebirds. It is designed by Autumn Lane Stitchery. It's gorgeous. If you don't follow Robin at Bird's Eye Stitches, you need to go follow her and watch her latest YouTube video. She shows her finished piece, and she changed all the colors up of this, and it's stunning. She has a FFO'd, so she shows it in her video. Her color changes are absolutely gorgeous. It gives a really different feel, but that is a piece I'm probably going to steal of hers when I go visit her. So this is stitched on Picture This Plus 28 count Cabaret. I full on waited a year for this fabric to come. Well, I don't want to exaggerate. 10 or 11 months for this fabric to come in. I ordered it right at the start of the pandemic when everything was shutting down, and right when this was released. So I think everybody wanted this fabric, right? It's a gorgeous fabric. I'm just doing it in DMC Blanc. I am not very far. So I would like to get this done, get some good progress on this. So that's Lovebirds. I have not worked on it very much at all. So we're going to aim for finish. This bag, by the way, isn't that beautiful? Is by Grandma's Treasures, Dawn. You can find her Gamma's Treasure shop on Etsy. Beautiful, beautiful bags. I need to go look at her website because I haven't been on in a while. Okay. Next, what's this one? Oh, yes. Oh, what? Not yet. Number 9. Number 9 that I'd like to finish next year is Floral Pumpkin. This is my Mill Hill kit. Buttons and beads. Very cute. A lot of these smaller ones, you know, there's other ones too that I will plan to finish that just aren't on this list, but this is just my list for now. So this is where I'm starting. I started this at the Pacific Northwest Stitch Retreat at the very end of September. This was my 25 7-piece for a while. You can see I have some beads in it already. You can see that. I'm not stitching on the perforated paper. Obviously, this is 28 count Dove Gray. Very, very versatile fabric. I love this fabric. So yeah, that's where I'm at, and I love it. And there's enough fabric. I mean, could almost fit another mill hill kit on that other side, or another small anyway. So that one should be done next year. And last but not least on my Year of Whips list is, you just saw this one as well, Winter Birds by Twin Peaks Primitive. This is what it will look like. I started this in November, which is when I'm filming this right now, for Twin Peaks Primitive is the Garon Focus on a Designer for November this year. I had this in my stash and I really wanted to start it. Also on 28 count Dove Gray, and this is where I'm at. So there's no reason why this can't get done next year as well. It's pretty small. I think it's so pretty. I love the birds and the trees and the winter scene. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. Those, I should say, are my whips to finish. Now, I might find a couple more to add to this list. This is my basket of whips to finish. So we're going to set that down. I might find more to add, which I will. The thing is I want to add them in even numbers, because if you finish half, right, then you can be entered for the prize drawing at the end of the year. So I do want to think in pairs, right? So if I add one more, I really need to add 2 more. All right, 10 finishes allotted for next year. And, you know, there'll be other things that pop up throughout the year as well. Okay, next up is going to be my Sunday piece. What am I going to work on Sundays in 2023? My Sundays are going to be Sunday montage. That's what I'm just calling them, the Sunday montage. I am working on, by Pain Free Crafts, artwork is by Janet Stever. There's 4 seasons. I've started all of them except winter. Winter I will be starting later in December, around the first day of winter. But here's what winter montage will look like. Like I said, I have not started this one yet. This is the only one I haven't started this. But my plan is to work on each season piece of this Pain Free Crafts montage in the season in which it currently is. So that means from January through March, I will be working on winter montage every Sunday. Okay, I'm still aiming for 3 hours as like a stitching session. That has worked well for me. Hopefully it's still doable in 2023. So when I say every Sunday, I mean about 3 hours, maybe more. But this will be every Sunday from January to March, which should be at a minimum 12 stitching days. And then 12 times 3 hours is about 36 hours. So that will be great. Now, I know that spring does start, right? Let's do this. I have an empty basket here. Spring does start in March, but I like it to be kind of nice and neat and concise. And so we'll just go through March, and then we will start on April. So spring montage. Spring montage will be April through June. And I did start this one already. Not very much, which is why I want to focus on these, because I think they're so pretty. So this is what April looks like. EJ from Sunshine Stitchers will be joining me. Stitching Mommy is working on these as well. I am stitching all of these on, I think it's 32 count, just a white even weave, because they are full coverage. So this is my spring. There we go. So this is where I've gotten to. So not too far. You know, this is probably only a couple of days of stitching. Maybe even only one. I'm not quite sure. I can't remember. But so it'd be nice to see some progress on these. They are so, so pretty. And I guess these are kind of replacing my Quaker pieces by Rosewood Manor, right? For the seasonal pieces. I have so many seasonal pieces because I have the Celtic ladies too, which I really want to stitch on as well. So that goes through June, and then July through September, we will work on summer montage. And that is what it looks like. Really, really pretty. I have this one in this bag. This is also a Gamma Treasures bag, which I really should put Carolyn's balloons in this bag, right? Because it's by Jan Hicks, because it's hot air balloons. Okay, so there's cat hair all over these. I wonder why. So this is summer montage. So I've gotten a little further along. So I believe I worked on this a little bit more. Maybe this is 2 days and the other one was 1 day. But really, really fun. Really like these. Can't wait to see what 36 hours of stitching time will look like on this. And then last but not least will be autumn montage, and I will work on autumn montage from October through December. This is what autumn looks like. Again, so pretty. I think I learned about these through Sarah of Stitching Mommy, and I just, you know, when you want to curse her, but also you want to say thank you for bringing these to my attention. Oh yeah, just a little baby start and some cat hair for you. So that's all I have. So I'm sure that's just 1 day. So I'm looking forward to, you know, let's get some more work done, right? So these will be my Sunday pieces. Okay. Next up will be my monthly focus, just my monthly focus pieces. I don't have all the months figured out, so I am leaving some open. And then again, like I said, the Garon Focus on a Designer, you will have to go to their page to see the designers, and you can get that list from them. But for my own focus pieces, and I don't know what that means. I don't know, does that mean X number of hours per month? I don't even want to say that. I just want to say I want to work on it as much as I can. So for January, I'm going to work on Happy New Year by the Victoria Sampler. This will be my focus piece because it goes quite fast, honestly. It really does. And so, you know, I mean, I'm not putting this on my list to get it done, but if I can get it done, well, maybe I can't get it done because I only have I have the first motif done. And then that first little border of specialty stitches. But, you know, it goes pretty fast. You just have to dedicate the time to it. And I'm probably not going to do the heart hanger at the end. I'm probably going to do, I'll find some pretty, maybe like a Quaker and do it all in white to represent a snowflake or something like that. But this will be my focus piece for January. My focus piece for February will be Lovebirds, which I've already shown you. And because of Valentine's Day, right? My focus piece for March is going to be, I don't think I have a good picture of it. I do not have a picture of it. It's Alpine Garden, which is my chatelaine. I started it last year for my birthday. I'm a little nervous that it started too low, but now that I look at it, it's probably fine. I mean, I did a center start, but sometimes, you know, you just get nervous. This is all I have. You can start to see the trees coming through and the mountains coming through. So I'd like to really, I mean, I think I worked on this 1 day. That's it. And I haven't worked on it since. Let's see if I know what fabric it is. Probably not easily. No, I don't really know. But I'll get that for you when I stitch on it in March. You will know. Alright, so that's Alpine Garden. it just fell down. In April, I'm going to focus on stained glass window, which you also saw because April is Easter, and I think of the stained glass window as being very Easter. It has the lilies in there and all that. So that will be April. In May, I would like to focus on, now you haven't seen this one in a while. We did work on it earlier this year. This is an ultimate cross stitch. This is 2019. It's the cats and dogs issue. This is Warm Welcome, and it is designed by Joanne Aston, and this is what it will look like when it's all done. Mine, I'm like up in here, basically. So, I would like to focus on this, and this is a good, kind of May spring piece to work on with the flowers and all that good stuff. So here's where I'm at. This one, if you remember, I had to rip out a bunch because I miscounted. So you can kind of start to see the shape of the archway in there, but I'd like to really focus on this and get this further along than it is, and get some back stitching in to really help define those flowers and all that. So that's Warm Welcome, and that will be my focus piece in May. And then I don't yet have anything targeted for focusing on in June, July, August, or September. One of those months might be like the Tudor Bee that I would like to finish because that's a very summery piece, things like that. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to focus on yet for those 4 months. October, we are going to focus on Elegant Pumpkins. This is what it will look like. This is designed by Marie Barber. This is in the September-October 2011 issue of Just Cross Stitch magazine. I know that EJ is working on this as well. And this is stitched on a willow green linen. And here we are. So we have that first pumpkin mostly done, I think. There's some to do up top here. There's some more work to do and make sure we have our back stitching in and all that, but we're getting there with that first pumpkin. It's a doozy. It takes a long time to work on this. There's a lot of counting, a lot of color changes. It's so pretty though. So that is Elegant Pumpkins, which will be my October focus piece. And right now I don't have anything for November. Now I might pull out, like, if you remember, I started Miniature Marvels earlier in November, which is that town scene, which I really, really love. And I think that's really pretty, and I would like to work on that more because I would also like to get that finished and hung up on my wall for winter. So we'll see. I have some spaces. What does it look like? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months where I can still fill in later. Then for December is going to be Christmas dinner. Really want to keep going on this one. I think I'm a little tired out with this background. I think that's been part of the problem because I kind of have been putting it off a little bit. Not really intentionally, but I think subconsciously I've been putting it off. This is stitched on just a 32 count white linen. And this is where I'm at. I should be working on this a couple more times yet this year. Well, in order to meet my goal, I need 12 more hours on this year, and I don't know if I'll be able to do that. But it is slated for a couple of days in December. So that is where we're at. All right. So those are my focus pieces for 2023. Now, so that is a lot of year-long events that take place that kind of last, the Garon, focus on a designer, the Year of Whips, I have a hair, the Year of Whips, which is a year long, and all that. I'm also planning on participating in some events that are not year-long, so that are like the monthly events. So in May, I'd like to do something for Mania. I'm not sure what. Usually what I do in Mania is I take a few pieces and try to really focus on finishing them up. So I might do that in May. I'm not quite sure. And I'm also going to participate in each year, Candy, the 614 Stitcher, does Mental Health Awareness May, which I'm not sure I have that name right, but she talks about it a lot in May. So the piece that I have already slated that I would like to do and start in May is this by the Snowflower Diaries. I got this at Expo this year, and it says "Trust the Universe." I think it's beautiful. I think kind of mental health, right? Having trust. And I think this would look great in my office because I work with college students. And sometimes they just need to trust the universe. So that is what I'm going to start for my mental health awareness month. I would like to participate in Jolly July because I have now finished, not FFO'd, but finished stitching all of my Jolly July pieces from a year and a half ago. So it's time to start some new Jolly July pieces. So I'm not going to start, I think last time I started like 12 pieces. I'm not going to start 12 pieces. But I might start, 4 or 5. I'll take a look. I have some patterns already printed and ready to go. I mean, they're not kitted up, but because I think I was going to start like 24 projects in that Jolly July, and I was like, I'm too overwhelmed. So I'm going to select kind of my favorites from those that are already printed out and, kind of ornament type size pieces is what we're talking about for Jolly July. I'd also like to participate in Tour de France again this year. I had great success when I did it this year. I used cat alphabet this year. I'm not sure what piece I will work on. I haven't figured that out yet for Tour de France. Stitchy Mommy does Arbitrary August, which I'm thinking about participating in for August of next year as well. So we will see if we participate in that. And then because I have like 3 or 4 samplers, I'd also like to participate in Sampler September for next year as well. So these are all things that I'm really excited to participate in that I just wouldn't have the time to do perhaps if I did WIPCO and had goals on every single one of my projects. I still have some goals, of course. I can't not have goals. And those goals will, more goals will probably pop up as I I'm close to finishing this piece that we didn't talk about. And so maybe I can finish it this year. I do have a new start for new year, new start, which I'm starting with Fawn from Sanctum Stitching. If you're not following them, go follow them. They are the sweetest couple ever. I love them. I adore them. And I'm trying to get them to move out to the Pacific Northwest. However, I think they just bought a house, not in the Pacific Northwest. So, a girl can try. Anyway, Fawn and I, who we finally met in person at StitchCon this year, we decided we're going to start Meditation Garden by Jan Hicks Creates for our New Year, New Start. So this will be started on New Year's Day. Beautiful. Love it. And then the one goal that I have, I have lots of goals, right? But the one piece goal that I have that is not a finish is Glitter Village Country Cottage Needleworks. My Aunt Gail will be so happy about this. Now, let's see. Let's first look where we're at. This is on a very difficult fabric for me to see on. It's a natural raw linen, but it has the sparkles in it. So I have the first 3 houses done. Here we go. Very cute, very sweet. So my goal then is to do the next 3 houses. They don't take terribly long once you sit down and do it. I think I'm averaging about 12 to 15 hours per house, per actual little chart. So it's not terrible. And I could easily do, 1 a month, October, November, December, and then I would have that goal. So that would look like, here's number 4, the little reindeer in there. Here's number 5, which is the church. Lots of white, but I love those stained glass. That stained glass. And then number 6 is this really pretty pink peach house. And then that would mean, how many are there? 9? Yes. So then that would mean in 2024, I would only have 3 left and I could finish this piece up. My aunt loves this piece, so she is happy always to see it. So I would like to make progress on that and get that done. So that would be houses 4 through 6. So that's really my only piece other than my finishes that I have a goal on. Very, very different from this year where I had goals, our goal, right? Like 15 hours on all these pieces. And I tried to touch every single piece that I stitched on. Now, I won't complete all of those goals, which I knew going into this year. So I'm not necessarily disappointed by that. But yeah, I want the freedom to kind of, things come up and people have great ideas throughout the year that I'm like, oh, I want to participate in that, but then I'll get behind on this or that or the other. So I'm hoping that this is going to be a good mix of goal setting while also keeping kind of open. And I'm not saying, I mean, I figure if I really hate this and feel like it's too not enough direction for me, I guess, then I can always go back and do a whip go board mid-year, right? There's no rules in cross stitch. So I'm going to give this a try. And I know I didn't talk about my heids. I still plan on working on my heids throughout the year. I just don't necessarily, I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't want to say, okay, I'm going to do 1 week each month or anything like that. I don't know what that's going to look like. I will probably do Tour de France will probably be one of my heids. I'm just not sure which one. But like, I'm really, I love the cat alphabet one. I love seeing the progress on that one. But I will say something like Cardinal Cottage. It is nice to see because I'm kind of in that background, so it's not quite as fun as like cat alphabet is. So, working on it once a month forces me to get it out and forces me to make some progress closer to kind of the fun, like the meat of the project. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those heids yet. I still plan on working on them. I still plan on pulling out different projects that I love. Magazine Monthly Challenge will dictate some of that for me as I look at what the prompts are or the acrostic and the theme is. So that will run some of it, but I'm really excited about this and I hope it works out and I hope you will join me for 2023. Let me know if you have any comments or questions down below. Let me know what you think of this plan. I know several of you were like, well, you could still do WIPCO and do like a finish and everything. And I agree. That is definitely one way. WIPCO, you can make it however works for you. I know some people are doing a finish, an FFO WIPCO board. So anytime it's drawn, they have to go an FFO a piece, which I think is a great idea. And I'm definitely going to keep that in mind for next year. 2024. So yeah, I'm already planning 2024 because 2023 is planned out now. What else is there to plan? Let's keep going. I'm just kidding. Sort of. Anyway, if you're still watching this, thank you so much for staying with me. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed seeing all these pieces. It's kind of like a mini whip parade. And I still plan to do a whip parade at the end of December. And until then, I will see you soon. Happy planning. Bye.